Today on A Few Things Every Man Should Know, we're talking about ties. Like it or not, at one point or another, every man has to wear a tie. There's some guys like my brother the lawyer that have to wear a tie every day. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, like your average bearded computer programmer who hardly ever wears a tie. Even if you wear a tie every day, they can be a real pain. I mean, they're a magnet for stains and spills, and they have this nasty habit of getting caught in things. So no matter how often you find yourself putting on the noose, it's super simple to look fantastic and not pay too much getting the job done. So today I'm going to talk about 3 things that'll have you looking great without spending a fortune. Okay, for starters, let's talk about matching your shirt with your tie. Some men always look great. Meanwhile, other guys look more like one of those tests for color blindness. So if you always want to be a sharp-dressed man, there's a few simple rules you need to follow. Okay, first rule, colors. The simplest and easiest thing to do is to wear a white shirt with pretty much any tie, but that's boring. No matter what combination you choose, make sure that there's at least one color that's both in the shirt and in the tie. And no matter what you do, make sure that the colors in the shirt and tie don't clash. Okay, let's talk about patterns. Matching a pattern shirt to a pattern tie may seem kind of like voodoo, but there's a few simple rules that you can follow and you'll be looking good every time. For starters, the color rules I just told you about still apply. Second of all, follow the rule of not the same. The first half of the rule of not the same is don't use the same pattern in your shirt as in your tie. And by this I mean no striped shirts with striped ties, no plaid shirts with plaid ties. The second half of the rule of not the same is to make sure the size of the pattern on the tie and the size of the pattern on the shirt are not the same. See how the pattern on this shirt is basically the same size as the pattern on the tie? Yeah, don't do that. Small pattern shirt like this gets a large pattern tie. Conversely, a large pattern shirt should be matched with a small pattern tie. The last rule for matching your shirts and ties is this. As a rule, your tie should be darker than your shirt. But Steve, what if I want to wear a black shirt? Well, here's an answer. Don't do it. Okay, time to talk about bow ties. Now, if this is something you think is a bow tie, then you are wrong. This is a prom accessory or something you might rent to wear to your college buddy's wedding, but it is certainly not a bow tie. This is a bow tie, and the man who can tie and wear it is a true gentleman of style. The fact of the matter is, if you can tie your shoes, you can tie a bow tie. And once you get it together, just make sure you keep everything flat while you're tying it. And once you get it on, there's all kinds of tugs and adjustments you can make to get it just right. Now, the internet is full of videos teaching people how to tie bow ties, so I'm not going to waste your time here showing you how to do it. But go out, get your hands on one, and tie it yourself. By the way, it's really easy to tell whether someone's wearing a proper bow tie or not. If you look at the bow, like on this fake one, both loops are forward. But a properly tied bow tie is one tail forward and one loop forward. There's no other way to tie it. That's how you have to tie it. It's impossible to do it any other way. So if you look at it and you see one tail and one loop, that is a proper gentleman. Oh, and the same color and pattern rules apply for bow ties too. Last point, let's talk a little bit about where to get ties. Anybody can go to the mall and go to a fancy men's clothing store and spend anywhere from $50 to $100 for one tie, and that's great, they're lovely, until your kid pukes on it or you spill your martini on it. I get my ties in one of 3 places. I either go to a discount fashion store like TJ Maxx or Marshall's. I also travel to New York a lot for business, and I buy my ties from guys on the street. No joke, there are guys on the street selling nice ties, some of them from fancy men's clothing stores, anywhere from 4 or 5 ties for $20. But where do I get most of my ties? I'll tell you. I get them from eBay. eBay, Steve? Seriously, you get your ties from eBay? Okay, watch this. Here is an ad for a very standard navy and red tie, silk navy and red tie from a fancy men's clothing store. You can see the regular price is $79.50, but if you buy 2 of them, the cost drops to around $67.50. That seems like a lot of money for one tie. Well, here is pretty much the exact same silk tie on eBay for $5.98 with free shipping. Sure, it comes from China and it'll take a couple of weeks to get to you, but when you spill something on a $6 tie, who the hell cares? Oh, and by the way, eBay also sells real bow ties. all you have to do is search for self-tie bow tie. If you search for just bow tie, you're gonna get one of those fake ones. The fact of the matter is, ties are not complicated, and they're fairly easy to make. So if the Chinese want to sell me 10 for what it would cost me to buy one at the mall, I say bravo. Okay, quick summary. 1. Match your ties to your shirts using the pattern and the color rules I taught you earlier. 2. Buy and tie real bow ties. Number 3. Don't waste your money at the mall on a $90 tie. Get to a discount store, buy some ties off the street in New York City. But if you want to start building your collection right now, get on eBay and start buying ties for less than the cost of that venti mochaccino that you were probably going to spill on your $90 tie anyway. My name's Steve Nazarian. That's a few things I know, but now you know too.